Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled to have my co-host with me today, Ben of Beneficial Tarot, because he's helping me with all this technical stuff that I've struggled through in the past. We're kind of learning together.
We are.
Hopefully today I don't do what I did last time, which is I left the studio before I ended the broadcast.
I know, you left me all on my own. How could you? It was fine. We dealt with it. I left and then it ended it, so it was fine.
Hello, Gerald.
You gave me stage fright, Robin, when you did that last time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi, Gerald.
Gerald, an early ritual, I don't know, but welcome. Clearing the space with the yodeling pickle. Okay.
That's what we do every live, me and Robin. We get the yodeling pickle out.
At some point, yeah. Oh, there's Debbie, Aquarius Al, Kestrel.
Hey, V Kestrel. Nice
Wait
to
a
see
few
you.
minutes to see who pops in.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a ton of stuff that we want to tackle today.
We have, haven't we, actually? Got loads of stuff we want to get through.
We at one point, we're going to do a sneak peek later on, a sneak peek of some new deck creations. Both of us are working on creating new decks.
We are.
Please stand by, because at some point we're going to give you sneak peeks of those. Also, I want to discuss at some point, I'm not sure what order this is going to happen in, but about the idea of what makes a tarot. You know, how many cards do you need to make a workable divination tool, and also the importance, I think, of majors only decks that seem to be insignificant to so many people. We want to throw a little appreciation their way, and encourage more people to get to discover them. I just want to bounce back here for a second.
Hi, Emmy.
We got a notification, so that's good news. Emmy, hello, and hi, Jamie's here. Jamie.
Hey, Jamie. Nice to see you.
So yeah, part of the topic today, I don't even remember what I titled this StreamYard. Oh, I don't have my YouTube on, so let me just go there just to throw another spanner in the works here.
Gerald says he's looking forward to the sneak peek, Robin, but he's got a call at the top of the hour.
Throw another spanner in the works. Whoops. Okay. Now
the word of the day, spanner in the works.
I've got my YouTube silenced, but it's on, so I can jump back and forth. Now let me get back in StreamYard. Also, I'm not clear. Another technical issue. I've got this on comments in StreamYard. If I go to banners, do I see both the banners and the comment? No.
Well, I can see the comments. So if you want to go to banners, I can flash the comments up when you want me to. Okay. We're co-hosting today, folks. So Robin allowed me to join his team, which is Team Toadstool, which is fabulous, isn't it? And so I'm helping him do this because I do work in IT, so I should know what to do. But we've been practicing, haven't we, Robin? Actually,
a little bit.
Stage, so.
Just a little.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's try this. How many cards does it take to make a workable deck? I had a couple notes here, but well, these aren't strictly speaking decks, but I got to thinking about the divination process, and I actually am thinking about. I was thinking about the whole idea of what we see in cards and how we see it, and I don't know if everybody is familiar with this phrase. I believe it's a psychological term called pareidolia. Do you know about it?
I've not heard of that, no.
Pareidolia, P-A-R-E-I-D-O-L-I-A. It's basically humans trying to make meaning out of things where there is none intentionally put there. For instance, if you look at the clouds in the sky and you see a dog run by, you know, or you look at oil spill in a puddle, or maybe a slick on your coffee in a cup, and you read that, you can read those images, but it's because we psychologically try to make sense of something where there really isn't sense implied.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of goes in tune with developing your intuition when you look at things and you try to pull new images or new words or ideas out of what you see in cards.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Deal with non-representational or abstract cards, you might go just from the logical portion of the label at the bottom of the card, or you might try to see some image in the abstraction of the painting on the card. So that's Pareidolia, is trying to make things work that way. And I think that's a lot of what divination is about, is trying to make sense where there's no sense. It's nonsense, really, I guess. Maybe.
I've often thought, Robin, actually, like with the RWS, and I've often thought, do we look at it too much to find symbolism in it? Because I know there's a lot of symbolism in it, but I did a comparison series last year, and I thought, are we looking too deeply into it? Or, it is there is that question there, isn't it, whether we're going too deep and that actually we're just finding things that weren't intended to be there in the first place. But it's still interesting.
We do a lot of studying and a lot of study groups, and we keep pulling out these symbols, but sometimes you wonder, well, how many of those was Pixie actually aware of intentionally and put them in there? And how many are, just came out of the subconscious and just popped in by accident, or, maybe, very few were actually intentionally put in there, and we're just trying to make sense out of what we see.
Yes. And Robin, people are actually spelling it. So MA has spelled it and Googled it. I mean, I'm pretty impressed, to be fair, because that's the difficult word. I couldn't spell that. And Gerald's asking if I've got power over the comments, and I have today. Well, we both have, haven't we, Robin? But he's let me do the comments.
Debbie says seeing faces in everyday objects.
Yes.
Stop spelling at me. That's magic, says Gerald. Vocabulary test, says Emma. Yeah. So where was I?
Yeah, you were saying about that.
I was saying, what does it take to make a system or work, really? Because it really is about choices. Like, how many choices do we have? Like, we could start off with a coin, a flip of a coin. You've got two choices, two answers. Yeah. And then we could go from a coin to a pendulum, and a pendulum, depending on whether you're working just with up and down or side to side directions, or if you've got a board underneath with letters on it, it can give you a number of things. The old magic 8-ball, if anybody ever had that toy when they were a kid, I don't know how many faces were in the little window, probably 8, maybe 8. I don't know. Answers you had. And then you have oracles that are from, I don't know how many is the minimum in an oracle to the maximum. It can be any number of cards.
Yeah.
And then you have majors only, which we're going to discuss today. That's 22. And then you've got Lenormand, which I forget if it's 35 or 36. And then you've got the full tarot deck of 78. So how many do you really need? I mean, it's always fun, I guess. Sometimes it's fun to have more. Sometimes it's overwhelming to have more.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little more succinct, the fewer options that you have.
Well, Gerald says here, I think it depends on the system, honestly. 2 choices or 2 million, and everything between and beyond are acceptable answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It depends on the person as well, I suppose.
Well, this will also go into another conversation that we're going to have later about collecting versus culling, and how many decks do you need? Do you want decks or do you need decks? And that kind of comes down to a matter of, it's a system. We're all working with a system, and we only seem to have several little systems.
Yeah.
Once you know the system, you almost don't even need the cards.
And Early ritual saying exactly a system works with one and how you view it and could be anything more.
And you don't even actually need a deck for that. I mean, you could
No.
a pad of paper and just write numbers 78, numbers 1 to 78 on there to know which part of the system you're trying to connect with and work from that.
Yeah.
But I think that we often look to collecting, well, for various reasons, but anything from entertainment to boredom to keeping up with the Joneses, other people collecting, to what inspires us. It mostly boils down to, what you can afford and what you have fun with. And I'm veering off into the other topic now.
We're excited. Can I just point out Emma's comment as well, Robin? I would say for Oracle, 0 cards, but for a system, however many cards are in the system. And then she says, thinking of Oracle in terms of omens, noticing signs, bibliomancy, etc. And Gerald says, Google verified the Magic 8 Ball had 20 choices with 10 positive answers, 5 negative answers, and 5 vague responses from Britannica.com. Oh, we'll get you, Gerald, you little beaver.
I didn't know it had that many. I wonder if that changed over time, because when I was little, it seemed like there were only about 8 answers.
Yeah. Hi, Lorraine.
Hello. So
yeah, Robin, going back to systems though, because we both like, don't we? 20 we like majors only decks, and we've spoke about this, haven't we? And I feel like a lot of people don't like majors only. People I've spoke to, they prefer a full deck. But we kind of like the majors only, don't we? And can I ask you why you like majors only?
I feel like everything you really need is in the majors only. Maybe you want a little more variety or a little more entertainment by having more cards, more images to look at. That also goes into, again, deck collecting, like, looking at a limitation of, set images from one deck versus images from other decks. And I think that all goes back to the idea that we need sort of mental stimulation. Like, you can have one deck and use it like forever, but at some point, maybe it feels a little stale, or you've pulled all you think you can pull out of one image.
Yeah.
I might argue there that it isn't so much that we need new images to be able to pull more out of, but we need new ways of finding more images or ideas from the one deck that we have.
Yeah,
so it's
like that.
It's a matter of how to work with the system. And it's like, if the limitations on your system feel like, oh, I'm bored, or this isn't enough for me, maybe consider if there's other ways to explore more with that system or that deck than just, pushing it aside and grabbing something new.
We have a question from Gerald. Is using a majors only like using a sledgehammer to set a thumbtack?
I don't see it that way, but I'm not sure why you might, and I'd be interested to hear, because for me, I actually don't distinguish. If I have a deck of 78 cards and a major comes up, for me, it's about the actions and the activity in the card. And I don't generally, I read cards in layers, but I don't generally read on the first glance at it, oh, that's a major, or that's a minor, or that's a court, or that's this suit. Those are the other layers. For me, it's what is going on, what is taking place in the card. So for me, all have equal footing. I don't give majors a more powerful advantage than other cards in the deck.
I learnt with majors only because the first tarot deck I came across with my friend was the JJ Swiss, which was a pip deck, and we didn't understand the pips. We just like to look at the photos of the majors, the cards of the majors, and that's how we learned, because we kind of used our intuition with what we saw in the card. So I think for me, that's probably why I like mages only. But you know, people say, don't they, that if you really want a powerful reading, mages only is going to give you all the stuff you perhaps, you know, the juju stuff that you need, if that makes sense.
And I put out an exercise or a challenge a few months ago for people to take out your 78 card deck and lay out all your majors. Then go through the minors and see which minor you could have subsumed into one of the majors. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
It might be under more than one, but all the majors, if you look at it, will cover similar points of view or similar activities that are in those minors. So it's almost like you don't really need the minors. They might be a little bit more subtle than the majors, but the same messages are there. Yeah. And we know that historically because a lot of Europeans and French used majors only decks. You know, they can buy perfectly fine using those. Now, I'm really thrilled that Jane the Seeker on another channel has been lately doing readings on her channel and using one of my majors only decks. And she doesn't use them as spreads. She'll do a spread or a draw from another deck, a full size deck. And then what she'll do is she'll draw one major card to give an overall vibe on the reading. It's sort of like as if you're cooking, you know, when you're cooking a soup and you what's it called when you cook, and it sort of condenses down into this really rich sauce. I forget the name of it. But
if I cooked, I'd know, but I don't cook. Yeah, I do cook. We're getting a lot of chat, Robin, so I'm going to just jump to the comments very quickly. So Early Ritual says, that's why I tend not to like mages only. I like to have more variety of options come up, but I am coming around to the idea more and more of limiting to mages. And I do understand that. There is more options when you've got 78 pack of cards. But like, I do agree with you as well, though, Robin, on the other side, that you can match up a lot of those minor cards with the mages, can't you?
Yeah, Emma the Gray asked, do you intentionally purchase a deck that is majors only or pull the majors out of a standard deck, or both? You can do both. Me personally, I prefer the majors only on its own. I feel like if I'm pulling the majors out of a 78 card deck, then I'm basically shoving aside all the minors and ignoring them. But if the deck only has 22 cards, I'm playing with a full deck. Even if it's a smaller deck, I'm playing with a full deck, you know? And I feel like I get the same answers. Sometimes they don't feel more, I don't know that they're more powerful. They do feel a little more direct somehow.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel that direct.
You've had some experience in using my deck too, my majors only, and you said that it worked for you, and how and why?
Out of the box, they worked great for me, and I since I chatted to Mark from Astro Tarot, we were talking about directions, and your deck in terms of directions worked really well for me, because it was like in some cards they were looking at the previous, it felt like the cards were looking at the previous cards. I love that there's a variety of directions, and I think there was only one, wasn't the Robin? Hi Ange. That was kind of like face on, or but it was turned, but most of them were in different positions.
I think maybe the only one face on is the moon, except the moon really has two faces in opposite. And so I don't.
And it worked really well for me, and it's very rare I get a deck out of a box like that just works so well. But I believe as well, because it was a gift, because it was a lovely gift from you as well, it's helped the magic of it work for me. So but you know,
I wonder where that saying came from, playing with a full deck, because I think it's true. It depends on what your nature of a full deck is. If you've got all the tools in your tool bag in a smaller deck, then you don't need the extras, really. I'm not trying to tell anybody don't ever buy any full deck, 78 card decks anymore. I'm just saying that the minor ones are, the majors only, or they call them trumps, but I hate to use that word. that they're underappreciated and underused. And I think that it's a perfectly valid system and a perfectly complete system in my experience. But I think I kind of discovered that by accident, which is another topic today, deck creation, which I feel like, one of the assignments to be part of the Order of the Golden Dawn back in the day was every member was required to create their own deck. And
Yeah.
I'm all about that. And that's one of the reasons that I make my decks and how simplistic most of them look, as I want people to know that they don't have to be particularly artistically talented to create their own deck. And you can learn so much by doing it.
Yeah.
I can't quite tell you off the cuff what you learn, but it'll be a revelation to you. Things that you maybe didn't even intend to put in your deck are in there.
Yeah.
And it's like surprise packages, surprise gifts to yourself from your own subconscious when you create a deck, that this stuff comes out of you. And I think when my first deck was a majors only, and it was kind of by accident because I had procrastinated for well over a year thinking I wanted to create a deck, but kept thinking 78 cards. How am I going to slog through that?
I know. I think that's why a lot of people create oracle decks rather than tarot, because it's the thought of 78 cards that you've got to put together, but just another comment, Robin. I can see his name. V Kestrel was saying, I have one majors only and I like them. I think the point that you have everything you need is a good one, but perhaps there's something making me feel in getting less value for money. And there is that. I mean, sometimes you buy a majors only and it is the same price and it's like, do you? But there's not many majors only, is there really? Although saying that, we've got a few between us, haven't we?
Yeah. I counted, I have about 14 in my collection. I don't use them all the time, but there are a couple that I use fairly regularly. I use my own. I use the open face one a lot. And I feel like I'm bragging on myself when I say that, or when I try to push my deck. But it was created. I was going to say before, when I decided to do that instead of the 78, I thought if I try 78 right out of the box, I'm going to lose interest partway through and never finish the project. But I know that 22 is an achievable goal. So let me start there. And I was amazed when I did that, just how much there is in 22 cards. And I did 22 in a day. I actually did it in 4 hours.
Yeah.
So it takes more organization in creating a deck than it does artistic talent. That's what I found.
We've got a couple of lurkers popped in. We've got lovely Regina. Hey, Regina. And we have Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Nice to see you.
Too. Hello.
And MA says, I was just reading Tony Barnstone's guidebook for the Radiant Tarot last night. He said, same, every reader should be assigned to design a deck. Yeah, I think you're right. You do get a lot from it, don't you?
And the reason that the decks that I've created are not particularly complicated so far is because I wanted my channel to be two things, actually. I wanted it to be a shopper's guide to help other people who aren't able to see all the cards in the deck before they buy, so I do walkthroughs. I also wanted to say, artist or not artist, you too can create your own deck. It's easy to do. And I'll encourage everybody to do that, not for money-making purposes. You may want to do that, but most people are not going to make money off of a deck. But more as like a lesson in tarot, that you discover so much about each card and its archetype by creating a deck.
I think it can help you learn tarot, can't it, doing it like that? Gerald says, work lurkers rock. They do. I agree. And hi, Jason. Nice to see you. So, Robin, do you want to, because I think people are going to be very interested in this deck that you've been talking about that you've created. Do you want to show that first?
No, let's string them along a little longer. Let's show them our collections of majors only that are available out there now. And we may even have people popping off to order some.
Yeah. Not that we expect people to purchase responsibly and within limits. Is that what Gerald says? Purchase responsibly.
Let's go back and forth between us, and I'll launch it off. This is the large, or I should say regular tarot size of my open face tarot, which you can find on makeplayingcards.com. It also comes in versions with and without labels. It comes in this larger size, also a mini size, which I love, without labels. That's the one I mostly use. And there's a ghosted edition version with a black background like a chalkboard and white lines like chalk on a chalkboard. And I have even tried using them together, the mini white one and the mini black one. So I can use it as the black one as like a shadow deck or shadow side of some of the cards that I pull in the white deck. So, I mean, that gives, new ideas and options to using a deck. So that's my first one.
I love that. And that's your very own deck, isn't it, Robin? So anybody who does like the look of that deck, and it is, I've worked with it and it's brilliant. You can get it from Make Playing Cards, can't you?
Yeah.
And we'll have to put that in the description box, Robin, because
while you show yours, I'm going to look for it and I'll do that.
Yeah. So the one I want to show is we're going looking at black and white decks. So the Wandering Echo. So the artist of this actually did do a full tarot deck, and I can't remember whether this was a majors only on its own or it's one that you can add to the other deck. But I kind of like to use this on its own, and it's called the Wandering Echo. God, I can't open the box now. Hang on. Okay. And yeah, again, it's very simple, but I do like some of these simple ones sometimes. So for Magician, there's not a lot of imagery on it, but I do like decks like that. And I think for some reason I tend to find they are easy to read with for me sometimes. Decks that are, don't have a lot of imagery, and I'm very much a visual person as well. So, but yeah. And again, very similar to yours, Robin. It's not full of a load of stuff, but it's to the point and exact, and I like that.
Well, also, I think what it does when the image is minimal, it almost strips it down to the title. I mean, you get stuff out of any symbols you might find in the imagery, but it almost focuses on what the text or the title is of that card a little bit more directly, I think. Sometimes cards are so busy you get lost in all the details, and some people love that, and some just want to get to the heart of the reading.
Yeah, I agree. And the great thing about Majors Only is that they're quick to show. So, benefit there, folks.
Thank you,
Rob.
I already did it, but thank you.
Oh, thanks, Gerald. And Jason says, does anyone else feel cheated by Majors Only decks? And we were just saying, Jason, we kind of like them, but for me, I learned with them. And Robin, kind of, you see it as you don't mind them, do you, Robin? You can find a lot in
You know what, though? I'm one of those people that loves little decks. And somehow the tactile feel of a tiny deck that also has a tiny number of cards on it is really precious to me. Like, I think if you have a full-size Majors Only deck or a giant one, somehow it doesn't feel as substantial, because the larger the card is, the flimsier the cardstock feels. And maybe that's an issue for some people. Not so much how many images, but how the cards feel, because that's really important. You need to feel comfortable when you're handling the cards.
I do agree with Joel, though, only when they are the same price or more expensive. Yeah, I mean, if they're the same price as a 78 card deck, then I tend to think twice.
I don't know, I don't evaluate them that way. I mean, if it's a super expensive deck, I don't care whether it's Majors or, a full deck. They're both full decks. One that I feel not cheated, but I feel like they're price gouging or taking advantage of us buyers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it more valuable, just by putting a higher price on it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make it more valuable just by adding more cards. I think what it is, I mean, you can have a 78 card deck and get terrible readings out of it.
Yeah.
And a 22 card one and get great readings out of it. So it's not the number of cards. I think it's your approach to the cards.
Yeah.
How you
It
go.
is. And everybody's different, everybody. I think it depends. It's how you, like for me, I think because I learnt with majors only, I don't mind it. But for people who learnt with the full deck, I could see why they perhaps go into majors might feel,
I have a deck here. This one is a majors only. I think it's called something like Lino Cut or something.
okay.
And I can't remember if I got it on Printer Studio or MPC, but it's basically like the original Marseille decks.
Oh yeah.
Were mostly woodcuts, and it's a similar process to linoleum cuts. Anybody that had studied art in school probably went through a period where you had these little tools where you would chisel out images on a little piece of linoleum, and then you'd run a ink roller over it and print out images. And it was a fun process. And this is just a very almost kind of crude lino cut Marseille majors only deck.
I like that. Jason says it's not the number of cards, but life isn't all about the big stuff. If that makes sense, yeah.
As they say, it ain't the meat, it's the motion.
Definitely. And Beth says, good point, Robin, an artist's perspective. And yes, Gerald, you're right, it was a generalization. I apologize. I'm willing to pay decent money for a beautiful set of 22 pieces of artwork. And I can understand that. If you really love that, you'd pay, whatever you want to pay for it.
Well, I should go back to you, but because of this topic, I'll bring this up. This is one that I fell in love with images on MPC, and the guy that put it out, the price was outrageous for any deck. I mean, it was like $78 or $75 or something for a majors only deck. And part of it's probably because it was in a box with images on it, but the images on the box don't really go with it. It's called the Kalma Tarot, Kalma. And the backs don't really match. The backs are very detailed. It's like this sort of Asian face with butterfly wings. But the fronts look sort of like a Russian children's book illustration from the 1950s or something. They're really, and they're not numbered or labeled. And I just really loved, actually, this is my favorite tower card of any deck. It looks,
I really like the artwork on that.
Building blocks, falling. And you mentioned once to me about, I like decks that look like antique decks. This one's got the kind of faux dirt stains all around the cards. They're like linen cards, and they have sort of textures on the background.
Sorry, Robin, just to stop you there. I think we're having IT issues. Can everybody hear us? Are we okay now? I think we froze for them. Everybody okay? I think we're okay. I think
think it wants us larger, which is like so.
Oh, yes. Can you put your too large so we can see?
That's better, right?
Here we go. Even better. There you go. Yeah, I really love that art, I've got to say.
Funny fool. And, well, I won't show them all, but we'll be here all day if I show all the cards.
It's very different, isn't it?
Almost like two little Amish kids or something.
Do you know why they didn't decide to do the full 78? Robin?
I have no idea. I could find no information about the artist online. I can't remember his name now. It must be something Kalma, or I don't remember. but I just really liked the style of the art.
Yeah,
And,
I do as well, I've got to say.
and I just had to have it, even at like $78 for 22 cards. I like this Wheel of Fortune too. Look at the monkey's face and this little kind of imp on the top.
And what's that one called, Robin? Did you say? Sorry.
Kalma, Kalma.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, you got
I
to
love
save
it.
up for that one. It's
I was going to say, right, okay. So my next one is this one, and it was Majors Only, and it's called, oh gosh, let me put myself on the big screen. There we go, there we go. Well, I don't know what that says. It's sortilgious, is it? Robin, do you know how to say that?
looks like sortilegios, but I don't know what that
Sortilegious.
means.
Similar to yours in that there's no numbers on. It's just literally images.
Oh, you know what? I want to take this banner off. What am I doing with this on here? There we go. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Ooh,
I do apologize.
those are really pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh, send me that info afterwards. I might have to have that. And that's majors only. And
Majors only.
where
Yeah.
did it come from? Do you know? It looks.
Do you know? I have a feeling it came from in the UK. We'll do this actually. I'll check. I think it was a shop called Unfamiliar Spirits.
But I
Yeah,
wonder what country the art is from, because somehow it doesn't look.
it's not UK art.
No.
I don't know whether the person is based in there. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I do like. I don't know about you, Robin, but sometimes I like it when they don't actually name the card.
Yeah.
I like it when it's just nameless, but you can kind of.
It depends on how clear it is. On mine, I gave you the option, but I like that if you don't have a name or a number on it and you can identify it, you could even use it as an oracle if you don't want to go to the tarot system.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the name has such value imposed on it that it can lead you in another direction than the image does.
I'm being told to purchase responsibly. It's not going to happen. Well, no, it should happen. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon. There we go. Where is he? There we are.
My turn, yes.
Nice to see
So
you.
you don't have a link to put that one up, do you? The sort.
No, so let me tell you where it's from. It's from a shop called Unfamiliar Spirits.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's not very helpful, is it? I'll see if you show yours, Robin, and I'll see if I can find the link.
The next one I have is one that I think Ben got rid of, or maybe it's in his box to get rid of, which is the White Witch Tarot.
Oh, yes.
It's got little gold trim on the box and the edges of the cards. And this one is very hard to read. First of all, it's highly glossy and reflective. And it's got the names and numbers on all the cards, or at least the names on there. I don't think it has the numbers. It just has the names on it. It's very deep. I think it's very, what's the word called? Not introspective, but it's very heady. That's the wrong word.
What are you?
You have to go deep inside your brain, deep within, to kind of interpret these cards. And it's almost like scrying when you stare at these images. They're not readily readable right at first glance. You need to spend a little time with them. Yeah, I'm losing my words, my facilities.
I'm still here. I'm just searching for this thing.
Yeah, it's
We'll
fine.
have to leave a load of things in your your
Links.
box, you know, your links in the thingy. What do you call it? The
Yeah.
description box below is what I'm on about. That's what I mean. Simon says, "Who's gagging on what tonight?" Well, I've been gagging on all over Robin's. That just sounds awful. I've been looking forward. I've been looking at Robin's, and yeah, I want to get one of his that he's just shown. What was it called again, Robin? The Karmic?
Oh, Calma Tarot. And for
Yeah.
anybody that just arrived in the last few minutes, Ben and I are both in the process of deck creation, and we're going to show you sneak peeks. So
Yes.
stick around.
Exciting. Yes. And Gerald says you've got a fan, Robin. You never told me you got a fan.
Oh, I do, but it doesn't. It's sandalwood, and it looks like lace, but it's sandalwood. It smells incredible, but it doesn't snap the way you guys did. Those cardboardy ones like make a loud snap. This one doesn't.
You mean that?
Yeah. My next one is called the Tarot of the World in Colors. And this one is supposed to be a tribute to the art of Keith Haring. And it looks like Keith Haring's art, but it's actually not. It's actually somebody kind of, I guess, in tribute or honor to his style, illustrated cards that look like he made them. And bright pop colors. It's, you know, very readable. I think this guy is from Switzerland. So I think this is a Swiss deck.
I like that. I like the bold colours.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And where is it? There's also a couple extra cards in here. There's the end of it. There's a white card and a tree of is it tree of life? They call it from the Kabbalah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there's a diagram of that at the end here, if I can find it. There we go. The white card, I don't know what that's for, but I guess anybody divining can figure out or decide what the white card is. And then here is this, which isn't much use to me because I don't really study the Kabbalah. But I should point out that each of the cards have a Kabbalah or Hebrew symbol or letter in the corner, in addition to the numbers on the cards.
Okay. Simon says it's the 5 a day, guys.
5 a day.
I'm not sure.
What am I
5
missing?
a day. I think he was talking about the cards. Is it the cards?
Oh.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Okay.
So my next deck, how do I get myself over? There we go. So this was actually started off as a majors only, then went to a full one, but I couldn't get the full one, so I had to go with the majors only. But I really liked the artwork, and it's called the Juval Moore Tarot. Juval Moore.
Ooh.
And this was started off as just a majors only. And that's how I got it. It's very much RWS, I would say. But I love this style artwork. Almost cartoony, you could say. You know. Oh, there's 2 lovers cards as well. Oh no, there's 3 lovers cards to depict, you know, depending on what you like.
I'm getting a very distinct idea of what your type is.
Are you? Yeah.
You have a very specific style. It's almost cartoony and very colorful.
Yes.
The cards are almost really pop, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have not to be denigrating, but did you have a lot of like a big fascination with illustrated children's books when you were little?
Yes, I did. I loved children. Well, when I was a kid, obviously, but yeah, I loved a good I used to love pop-up books,
Uh-huh.
like with big images like that. But yeah, very much so.
Because it seems like a lot of the style that you like are these black outline, pop, bright colors,
Yeah,
very almost comic or cartoon-like imagery in a way, or
yeah,
graphic novel or something.
yeah. And I've always loved like Disney films and Studio
Mhm.
Ghibli and video games and stuff like that. So whether it's to do with that as well, but yeah, I guess it reminds me of being a kid. Maybe that's right, Robin. But my two kind of types is that type, and I love those medieval, like the Golden Tarot, which we talked about last time. And just so you know, Gerald says I have to go 15 minutes for a call. Are we getting teased, or do I have to come back for the new deck tease? He's
Uh,
desperate to see your deck. That's what it
I'm,
is.
I'm sorry, I'm going to string you along a little bit longer, but you can always rewatch later.
It's
I mean,
cruel, Gerald.
we're only showing you a sneak peek of screenshots. So, the decks haven't arrived yet. And I mean, Ben's isn't even finished. And
No.
mine is, the proof is in the mail, but won't be here for another week or more. And you'll see that as soon as I get it. But this next one refers to your last one about did it start out from a majors and become a full deck or not? Or I did it again, full deck, 78 card deck. There must be a term for that other than just calling it a full deck. I don't know. So this one's the Tarot of the Gnomes. I was gifted by Sarah
Oh,
Waterchild,
yeah.
and it's a Low Scarabeo deck. So it's just these little, and I think this one's in, I don't know if it's in Spanish or, so the little cartoony illustrated
Oh, I like that.
of gnomes, hope you can see okay, but
Oh, yeah. And is that a full deck now, Robin?
yeah, I think she might have the 78 one, and she didn't need the majors only, and she, knows because of Toadstool and my fascination with fairy tales and my crocheting pointy hats and stuff that she thought this might appeal to me, so she sent it. Look, it's like two rabbits pulling the chariot. It's kind of different.
Wow.
I don't know what, I didn't see what the strength card was. Oh, here's a really cute hermit. Kind of grumpy.
I like that. I love Fae. Well, I say Fae kind of looking decks. It's like magical creature decks, isn't it?
There's the strength. She's wrestling some kind of lizard. Or he. I don't know if that's a he or a she.
Yeah, I can't tell. Beth says, Robin or Ben, I'm confused. Is this a collaborative deck you two made, or perhaps I'm way off? No, it's not. So Robin's made his own, and I was kind of inspired and thought, oh, I'll just give it. Mine's not anything like Robin's, or as mine's not very interesting really compared to Robin's. Robin's is very.
Well, don't downplay it.
Well, no, mine is. I've just like it's off. I've put mine together on Canva, whereas I think you thought more about yours.
We should tell you that we worked with Canva.com, and it's a very fun and easy system to use. So we encourage you all to have a look or give it a try. And I think you'll find great inspiration and hours of fun there. It's like playing a game just to create a deck.
And Beth says, Robin, is that Italian or Spanish?
Tarocchi degli Nomi. I don't know. I'm guessing it's Italian. I don't know. And Lo Scarabeo is an Italian company, so maybe. I don't know.
How dippity do? Nice to see you. Oh, that rhymes. Because I watch me since I keep catching lives. Like, oh, don't worry. Well, we're still here for a bit, so. Okay. What's your next one, Robin? Because you've got more than me, haven't you?
It's the Golden Worth Tarot. And this one, I think originally, I think Worth only created this as 22. And then later, somebody else added in minors. But yeah, I don't think he intended it to be more than 22 cards. And this one's nice. It's got this weird glitzy gold that reflects. These are a little bit larger than regular tarot size. And they're really quite beautiful. Actually, there's two versions of the Worth. There's one done, I think, in the late 1800s. And then this one was re-illustrated in like the 1920s or 30s.
Is this a mass market deck, Robin, or an indie deck?
Yes, it's mass market. And this has, I love that face on the moon. This has a really beautiful illustrated style that appeals to me from like the 1920s or 30s. The earlier one is a little more crude, and I don't care as much for the illustrations. I did have, I think I had a copy of that I got rid of. I love this card. This card used to remind me of Beejam, but I haven't seen Beejam in the tarot community much lately. Such a handsome.
Oh yes, it does, doesn't it? I like that.
Yeah, this is a real little treasure. It's in the beautiful kind of big box. It's all shimmery and.
So that, and you can still get that today, Robin.
Yeah.
So my next deck, I can find a way to open it. Bear with me. So this is, it's not got people in. Oh gosh, hang on. Sorry. And it's actually called the Mindscapes Tarot. And I'll just thank you. And I saw it, and I fell quite in love with this. It's just landscapes. But I think sorry.
Both of us are having lighting and reflection issues today.
Yeah, I can't see very well, can you?
See enough of these.
But I think these are great for like meditation. You know, sometimes put yourself in the card kind of thing. And I do like that with tarot, when you can kind of put yourself in the card. I'm sorry, I don't think you can see these very well, can you? I love that Hermit card with the little cave at the end there. And I did wonder, I think people have asked the artist if they're going to carry on and do any more, but they only wanted to do the mages, I believe. It's a beautiful deck.
Yeah.
And I love that for the death card, where you've got like these, it's almost like there was a battlefield on here, but then you've got new growth and time gone by. But yeah.
Some of the challenges we have with sharing cards are some cards just don't communicate to the best advantage on camera. You have to have them in front of you to get all the colors and the details of the richness. That's why I actually like some of the simplicity ones, like my open face. You can get the image clearly because it's just a squiggle outline, you know. Now here, for example, I have the Rain Coast, and it's a mini, and what's his name now? Who's the name of the Rain Coast Tarot creator guy? Conrad Stain, and that's not right.
I know who you mean.
Oh my God, I'm forgetting all my words.
Is it James somebody?
Yeah, something James. Anyway, he sent me this. I think it was as a bonus or something. And I don't know if it was actually, I think he packaged some of just majors, mini majors, for to put in a basket on the display counter at little shops local to him. But I don't know whether he actually had some of these printed as Trump decks, or whether he pulled them out of a full deck, or just had extra cards to create a 22 card deck. I don't know. I love that. But his cards have so many details in that you can't really see them very well on this kind of camera.
I'm trying to remember what his name was. Christopher James. That's it. Thanks, Beth.
Christoph
James. Yeah.
James.
Thank you. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I love him because didn't he do Aleister Crowley deck as well?
Yeah.
That. Which was another one. Well, I've just looks like I've exploded in glitter here because those cards that I just showed have got gilding on the edge, and there's all like probably can't see it, glitter on them.
Oh. Do you
so
have any more, or are you up?
No, I'm up.
Okay. Wait. Oh, you mean you're out, or you have one left?
No, I'm out.
Oh, okay. I only have a couple more. Well, there's the Tarot de Jacques Viville from Paris, 1650. And I won't show these because we're kind of running long on these. But it's, it's basically a Marseille deck. And they're beautiful tarot-sized cards. And I'm not clear on the reasoning behind it, but it's a thick box. Actually, it's double the thickness of a regular deck.
Wow.
Because it's actually two versions of the deck. For some reason, when they printed them originally, the plates that they used were one direction, and then somehow or other they got printed the opposite direction or something.
Hi, Simon.
And then so they printed up both directions. So you have two variations of this deck facing two different ways that you can kind of put together your own deck a la carte depending on which direction you want it in.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
People running off, if you will, please, if you're interested, check back with us later on at the end of the video and you'll see what we're about to show within the next 5 minutes or so, our sneak peek of our decks.
Yeah.
I have just a couple more. I have several here that were art decks that were created by a company called Kisses from Ibiza, and I think they were shipped from Spain. One of them is an Alice Tarot in Wonderland, because I always wanted an Alice deck with Tenniel's original illustrations, but there's a little one in a tin, but it's kind of redrawn. And these I'm not completely happy with because they do have his illustrations, but there's a lot of border and they're kind of randomly placed on there. And they've got a little quote or something. And here's like keywords for the Hanged Man: sacrifice, release, martyrdom. Off with their heads is the quote. Now, off with their heads has nothing to do with this image. And the Hangman doesn't either. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Went about assigning these. Like, I love the idea of a deck of Alice using Tenniel's illustrations, but this one wasn't well conceived. It wasn't well. So here we have the Cheshire Cat, and it's the star card. Why? I don't know. And the quote is, well, I've often seen a cat without a grin, but a grin without a cat is the most curious thing I ever saw in all my life. Does that help you in any way?
No.
It's like, what's the point of putting that on the card? I don't.
Is it called a tarot deck as well? It's actually called tarot.
The Tarot in Wonderland, the Oracle of Alice.
Well, it belongs in Wonderland because I can't understand the thing it's trying to say.
Yeah, really. Well, there is a little portrait of Sir John Tenniel, which is nice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And there's a little, one paragraph description of the, that makes no sense either. So
they're nice images, though.
But I bought three decks from this company. This one is the Voice of Space Tarot, which is painted by Rene Magritte, the surrealist. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him, but you might know his images. You might know some of his paintings that are really...
Oh, Isn't that looks like the front of a tarot deck, Robin, that first card. Is it called the Serendipity? What it's called?
Yeah, I don't know. The deck is the Voice of Space, which has nothing to do with Magritte as far as I know.
Oh wow.
And this again has like weird little the quotes. No, they're kind of interpretations on the cards. Like, here's the Hierophant, nudity alert, and the card says
Beth loves that.
a spiritual advisor might be coming into your life to guide you on your spiritual path. Well, okay, I guess that sort of works with the Hierophant, but it doesn't really tell you much.
Early Ritual says, "Damn, another deck I need. Thanks, guys."
What?
Another deck.
Oh,
Early Ritual needs.
these were fairly reasonable. I think they were about 20 or so each, but I kind of don't really feel, and I also don't like the title on the back of the card, every card. So
I see, yeah.
There's something about the design and format of these. Like, did they need to be oversized cards? Why couldn't they just have been tarot sized? And, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, isn't it, when they're really big, I suppose.
And they don't really, match up with the card, with the reading so much. I mean, with the image, rather. And then the third one was this one called Surrealism Tarot. And this one is all paintings by Giorgio de Chirico. If some of you may or may
These
not.
are some very strange tarot cards I've never come across before, Robin.
Yeah, I found them on Etsy. And well, here's the back. Again, I don't like the titles on the back of the cards. But very intriguing. I love his artwork, but they just seem randomly chosen and don't really seem to go specifically with the archetypes. It's basically an art deck, of his painted images. So I'm still, I love this image, but I'm still waiting for them to put out a proper de Chirico deck. Yeah, and this doesn't have my favorite paintings by him. And then the last two I have, this one, I forget what this is, a Bordered Waite Smith, desaturated. So this is one by, with Pixie's art. It's textured back, and then you've got the colors basically stripped out of the RWS.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting if you want a little variation on colors, but it's, limited colors. And
just a couple of comments, Robin. Early Ritual was saying that is the problem with most artist decks. They feel shoehorned. I do agree with that. Sometimes they're trying to fit the meaning of the card. And then Beth says these Ibiza decks seem to be lost in translation. Yeah, I agree, guys.
I like that term shoehorned. It's like the thing from Cinderella where the wicked stepsister chops off one of her toes or her heels in order to fit into a shoe.
Yeah.
With glass clipper. That's what these decks seem like they're trying to do sometimes.
Of course, that's not in the Disney version, but yes, in the actual, is it the Grimm brothers?
Yeah, I think so. One of them.
Yeah.
And then here's another one. This is the Tarocchi di Marsiglia, Colora Infinito. Looks like Mexican or something. Now this one is similar to the previous, but it's more of a Marseille.
Oh yeah.
Weird coloring.
I like that. You've got very eclectic tastes, haven't you, Robin?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that covers my entire collection of minors, and many of these I don't really need anymore.
but I mean, this is. Are you ready to show your
yeah,
crowning
okay,
achievement?
everybody who's been so patient to hang around.
I have.
Beth says she loves Magritte. That's like a tossed salad of words and images. Yeah, it's true. Artisan is doing a restoration of this deck right now. Which deck, I wonder? Well, okay. All right, take it away, Ben.
Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to share the screen. Oh, hang on. Where's it gone?
Do I need to change the, you can change the format of the picture, right?
No, you're fine. Hang on a second. It does this, guys. I got it all ready, and now it's gone. Hang on a second.
It's fine. Oh, the Vivel is, oh, they might be redoing it.
Okay.
Artisans doing a restoration of the Vivel. I see.
Got it. Are you ready?
Yeah. Okay. This is going to be the Majors Only Toadstool Tarot. It's going to be a signature tarot, and it's different. Now, I don't know that we have too many people left in the chat at this point to get opinions from, but these are simple, little, colorful little images of toadstools, various kinds of toadstools, and each one, it's a non-representational deck, meaning the fool is a toadstool. It's not a picture of a fool walking off a cliff with a little dog. So you don't have all those symbols. You have the title and basically some pop colorful art. If you happen to be a fan of mushroom or toadstool imagery, you might enjoy it. If you struggle because you don't have an action taking place, might not be for you. If you know your system and you know what all the titles or labels or names mean, the Fool, the Magician, and so forth, you shouldn't have trouble reading this deck. But what I did is a little bit different, a little bit expanded. What I did was I added 8 bonus cards. You can flip to the other pages if you want, Ben.
Right, yep. Let me stop that one. Okay.
So there we have first 6 cards and the back design.
Okay. So which one do you want me to go to next? Do you want to go
them all? Go to 2.
2. Okay.
See, Ben figured this out. I couldn't figure it out on my end, so he's my AV tech guy today.
Right, hang on a second. Let me close that one down and open up number 2. Bear with me.
And so there's so many people that love herbal decks or animal decks. I don't know how many are out there love mushroom or toadstool decks, but I think there's a handful that have been looking for something like that for a while. I'm just not sure if they'd be happy with.
Can you see that, Robin? Oh no, it's gone. Sorry. Bear with me, guys. Bit of a technical glitch.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. You wouldn't think I work in IT. There we go. It's coming. Got it. Is that showing?
There we go. So there you've got the next 8. Lovers, Chariot, Strength, Hermit. I guess you can all see the names on there. I think I made it pretty clear. I should also say to you guys, you can go ahead and look for the 3rd one.
Yep.
That these are domino shaped and they're very small cards. These are, I think, 1.5 inches by 3 inches tall. So it's a very pocket-sized deck. It's going to be a glossy finish. And I'm hoping that these are really quaint and cute and pocket treasure for some of you people out there.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. So there we go. And here we are. Temperance, Devil, Tower, Star, Moon, Sun, Judgment, and World.
And just to let you know, Robin, love it, V Kestrel says.
Yeah.
Early Ritual says, I like this. And also, will these be on NPC?
Yeah. Yes, they will. They will. I'm just waiting for the proof now to make sure they look okay, and then I'll make it available in my store, the Open Face Tarot
Can I
store.
just say, I love the star with the little like cosmic bit underneath it. I think that's really clever.
Yeah, that was a bit of an accident. The image actually came that way. I only tweaked the color on it.
It's nice. I like it.
And the tower, the only reason I picked that tower is it was the tallest, skinniest mushroom I could find in the selection of images. Temperance was a little odd because I don't know. I tried to make it look like there's a figure behind, sort of balancing these two little mushrooms out front.
Yes,
It's not
that's
quite,
cool. I like that.
sort of a vague reference there.
We've got a question for you, Robin, as well. And thank you, Beth, for being patient with my IT skills. Question: did you research different types of mushrooms / toadstools and replicate?
Absolutely not. No, I picked these entirely on the visual aesthetics for me. There were something like nearly 200 mushrooms in the artwork at Canva, and only a limited number were in this particular drawing style with black outlines. And so I basically just picked those and played with the direction and different color assignment. For instance, the moon, I did the moon, this particular mushroom, because the pattern, the spot pattern on it reminded me of craters on the moon. So that's why I picked that particular one. I have no idea what kind of mushroom it is. The devil, I picked this. I did change the color. I made him red and a kind of a squeamish pale purple, but it's got like little sort of spikes or fangs kind of hanging from the underside of the mushroom. And so that kind of intrigued me. The sun is like very round, and I made it yellow for the sun. And excuse me, the world, I have this cluster of like little figures or little people gathered together for the
And
world.
Robin, this is important because V Kestrel says I can see me using this as a travel deck. Have you spoke about the size of the cards?
Yes, I think it's 1.5 inches by 3 inches. So they're about the same height as a bridge card deck, but a little narrower, maybe a third narrower or something.
So they're good for travel, really, aren't they? To put in your
I think they are. Now, this time, I usually just pick them shrink wrap, but I thought, oh, somebody's going to want some container for these. And it turned out plain white tuck boxes were no additional charge. So I said, what the hell? Put them in tuck boxes. So the packaging won't be pretty, but at least you'll have a tuck box to store them in. I have a feeling they'll be shaking around in there, though, because I can't imagine there are domino shape size boxes at MPC, but maybe they are. We'll see.
Maybe they are if they've got that size, though. Just a couple of people. Beth says, I really like the Chariot and Temperance cards. And Beth likes the Hierophant card. And V. Kestrel says the World card. Love it. And I like the World card because it's a little cluster of.
Okay, now if you go to the last page, here's where the change comes in the system.
Yeah. Okay.
Early Ritual says, draw your own mushroom on the tuck box. Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I decided to do, I found several little groupings in different styles of art that I also liked. So I thought, besides the 22 majors, I would also add 4 earth element cards. I mean, sorry, not earth. 4 element cards and 4 court cards. So you can see in the row at the top, there's no outlines, and all the mushroom caps are in this sort of spotted kind of airbrushed type of painting. And I picked the colors that correspond with earth, water, fire, and air. And then on the bottom row, I did 4 court cards. So we have king, queen, knight, and page. So, and I have an instruction card. There actually aren't any instructions in this deck other than to say, It's 22 majors, 4 elements, and 4 court cards to use as you see fit. So if you just want to play with these or leave these 8 in the box and only use the majors, you can do that. Or if you can figure out a system, a way to use them, great. I kind of feel like, if you shuffle them all together and say the Earth card comes up in a spread with majors, that maybe your reading is more focused on some earthly material aspect of your question or your issue, possibly. I think Earth is also health issues, things like that. And then, if a court card comes up, maybe the Knight card comes up. So maybe an overall feel to the major spread has to do with movement or taking action because it's a Knight card. I mean, I think you get the idea, but that's only
like that
spin on it. You might, I don't know how you might do it differently.
Well, I think it's really exciting. I love the addition of those extra cards, Robin. Definitely. And, like the fact that you've got earth, water, fire, and air. And like you say, you can incorporate them in and give an overview of the reading that you've done as well to, what areas to focus on. When are these going to be available?
Well, I hope to get a copy in the mail sometime next week.
Oh.
And then once I get it, if it looks all right and I don't have to change anything, then I'll put it in the shop, or the process to put it in the shop. And that usually can take anywhere from 1 to 3 days. So probably within the next 10 days to 2 weeks, it should be available. And when it is, I'll do a walkthrough on my channel and postings on the Facebook pages.
Nice.
And so that is the Toadstool Tarot deck. The second deck, which actually was the first deck that I was in, I did all this on Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. The first deck I did Friday night, and that one's more of a beginner's one. Hey, welcome to Jim, Jimone, and Bill. The first one I did on Friday night, and it's more of a beginner's deck. I think it's called the Word Tarot Oracle or something. And that one just has a single word on each card, sort of as an interpretation for what it is. So the Magician card has no image. It just it doesn't even have the word magician. It just has the word skill or skills. I forget. So that I don't have images to show you of that yet, but that's for some absolute beginner that might agree with me on the keywords, and they could start reading right out of the box just from the words that are there. And
when will that be ready, Robin? Is that something that...
Well, at the same time, probably, unless I change any of the words, because that one I already ordered a copy before I finished this one.
Fab. No, I think it's really good, and I like the idea that you've got those that beginner deck as well, because I think it's really good to have keywords, because you don't see many decks like that, do you? That's the thing.
No. I mean, I don't know how necessary it is, but for somebody out there just wanting to begin, oh, hi, Nancy, you might want to rewatch this from the beginning, because particularly near the end here, we're showing samples of, or sneak peek of, cards that Ben and I separately have done. This is a deck of mine called Toadstool Tarot. It's going to be my signature deck. Jim asks if I'm as intimidated by Ben's impeccable good looks as he is, and I will say, yes, sweet youth.
That's true. So so I've been working on a deck as well, but it's not, I don't think it's very, I just messed around about at the weekend, really. So
just before you leave, Jim asks, can you do a reading with the mushrooms? I don't know if you're asking if we can now or not. I don't have them yet, so I can't. But am I able to? I will be, because I know tarot enough to know what the labels mean. So even if one were not to be able to read by the images, I can read by the major labels, the archetypes. So sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No, that's fine. So I've created a black and white deck on Canva. It's not really finished at all yet, but I'll show you what I've done so far. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, to be honest, because it's one of those you're not sure. So
And also for people out there that might want to create a deck for yourself or for to workshop, you might not have the intention of selling it or making it available to anybody. You can create one copy just for your private use on MPC, and you don't even ever have to share it with anyone if you don't want to. Many people do that. They even use copyright images and do it just so they have something that is workable for them at home. But you know, it's a great way to
it is. It's a great way to, you know.
oh, we've got a troll.
Oh, right. Have you got any moderators, Robin, in here?
I don't know. I just got rid of it in StreamYard, but I don't.
Well done. That's it. Yeah.
Blacked out for 5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe they'll be back.
I'll be quick. So let me see if I can share the screen. So I won't be able to see the screen, but let me know if you can see this, because I'm not sure if I did this right earlier. Oh no, what am I doing? Sorry. Bear with me. Share screen. So, okay. Can you let me know if you can see that?
Yes. It's a little hard because it's line art. This detail.
Yeah, it is. There we go. Is that better? Can you see that? Oh, once it's loaded.
I see the name on the Fool, but I don't see an image.
No, neither do I. It's not. Oh, there we go. Just
there we go.
Can you see that? Okay.
I can see it. I can't see it in detail, but no, it gives a general idea.
You're right. It's very line drawn drawings, but you get the general gist. But
card, did you add the pentacle and the 8 on the top of the?
I did, yeah. So I added the lammerskate there, and the pentacle, and the sword, and also the little cup there, just to represent the different tools that he has. And obviously he's holding the staff, so I kind of included that as the pentacle.
Where's the sword? Whoops.
The what? Sorry, Robin.
Where's the sword?
It's just there at the background. Again, you can't see it very well. And then that's the High Priestess. And I kind of wanted to go with the, you know, Rider-Waite imagery still, but just kind of change it up a bit and kind of include a lot of the symbology from there.
Yeah.
But it's really hard because you're limited, aren't you? Because I wanted it to be coherent. You know, I didn't want it to. I wanted it to look like it was the same kind of art, but it's really difficult, isn't it?
I'd be tempted on that one, on the Empress. I don't know. You know, we talk about direction with what's his name, with Mark.
Mark, yeah.
I mean, this is perfectly fine. I'm guessing the original image was this direction. I'd tend to want to flip it the other way.
Yes, and you can do that actually. That might be a good idea. Yeah. I know, because it's kind of facing backwards, isn't it?
I'm just used to moving forward, and also the classic Empress is facing the right, but that's just, you know, it could go either way.
Well, no, it's good because it's good to have all this kind of feedback. That's the Emperor. It's very basic. It's, you know.
I like that. Yeah, and you've got a lot of direction kind of possibilities in the.
Yeah, and I like that. I kind of like the direction. And then with the Lovers, I wanted to include the element of choice, so I put that in there as well.
I like those 2 hands too.
Yeah, I like that. The Chariot was dead easy because that was just like one image. That was pretty easy. Strength, again, I wanted to include a person, but as the lion kind of thing. So I kind of liked that idea. The Hermit, again, you know, walking away from something, almost like the that kind of does remind me of the 8 of Cups as well. That card. I struggled with the Hanged Man. If I can find that one. Because it just doesn't look like the rest of the cards, so that's work in progress. That was the death card. I kind of wanted to have symbolize death, but also rebirth with the phoenix rising from the ashes kind of thing.
Oh, Gerald came back and said he's glad the Hierophant has the keys, and Beth says the Empress and Emperor could face each other.
Yes, that's true, actually. I like that idea. I do, I love that. That's the devil card, and I put these three little monkeys at the bottom, so hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. But again, it's very basic. I mean, it's just something I probably use myself anyway, but it certainly hasn't gone into the detail that you've gone into, Robin, with yours. It was just a little bit of a weekend.
Well, we've got a critical comment from Jim.
Oh, okay.
Says, you've made me look like an amateur. I think Jim needs to know that these images are from Canva, and neither one of us can take credit for the illustration because they are copyright-free images that we both pulled from different artists. So a lot of the things that you do on Canva really comes down to the choices that you make. And I think a lot of art is that way anyway. You choose to a certain color, you choose to make a certain quality of line, or a certain image. A lot of it is in the editing more so than it is in the origination of the. And a lot of our favorite decks out there by a particular person are illustrated by another person. You know, the mass market decks, we have the book and the concept done by one person, and they've hired a professional illustrator to manifest their vision. So there you go.
Yeah, fab. But no, it's exciting, and it is, like you say, creating a new deck yourself. It kind of helps you, doesn't it, learn. It's a great. I think everybody should give it a go. You know, it's quite fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and it's like when you make the choices, you think, okay, why make this choice? You know, I have a number of choices. I picked this one as the strongest from what I've got to offer me, and why did I choose this? And am I getting enough information across that meets my vision of it? So I think that in of itself, I think, is a great exercise for building an image on a tarot card from random samplings of images to communicate what you want communicated in a card. So it's a very a good teaching lesson, I think, creating your own deck.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Absolutely. Deputy D says, you guys are doing awesome today. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you for watching. You know, it's been fun.
I think both of us are having fun with it. And if you're not having fun, why do it? You know?
Yeah.
And if what we're doing encourages you all out there to take a step to create your own decks, and that's a big plus for me. It's not about promoting my deck or Ben's deck. It's like giving you the power to make your own. And you don't even have to do it. You can buy blank tarot cards and put stickers on them, or use markers and draw on them. Tangi does that, and other people are doing that. So be creative.
Gerald says, thank you for showing what you've created. It can be scary to share creations. Yeah, it can, you know. But I think it's kind of what we wanted to do as well, is encourage people, if they want to create their own. And I think anybody can do it, can't they? You know?
It takes a little bit more patience learning how to use their software, but it's fairly easy. What I would say is, if you're going to ultimately want to put it on MPC or somewhere, when you're all done, the images have to be uploaded, I guess, to MPC. And so you might want to do a test card first to make sure you've got the right size, format, and what it is like focus. number of pixels and stuff. I can't think what I'm trying to
I
say.
know what you mean. Yeah.
But you need to go to MPC first, choose the card style you want, and then find out the dimensions that you want. And then you can go over to Canva and set up your template with a card in that dimensions, and you'll be better off that way.
And Early Ritual said, Ben, will you be making your deck available? I don't know, because I haven't finished it, and I think if I did, I'd probably want to go the full hog and do the 78, which would take some time. And I didn't want to do like just 22 and then kind of do it after, the rest after. So it would be a while, I think, before I do it. But yeah, if I did, I'd let everybody know. But yeah.
Ben, do you have a scanner at home?
No, I don't.
Because I have one of those combination scanner, printer, scanner, fax kind of things. And the only part of it that still works is a scanner. I was going to say, if you didn't like the black and white and can't find a way to add the colors you wanted on Canva, you could have a test copy printed at MPC sent to you, and then like watercolor or use color markers or paints on it, scan those, and then re-upload them, and you've got a full color deck.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, because I do feel like mine's very black and white, and I kind of do like the color.
Yeah. Another thing besides a scanner is, I know I can't think of her name. Is it Esther? Is it Mindful Tarot? Esther? She did this with a deck. She created a deck that was out of print, and she didn't want to use it all the time, but she wanted a usable copy. She took her iPhone and just took photographs of the cards and then formatted them so that they could go into the MPC template. So even if you don't have a scanner, but you've got, a tripod or a good still hand with your phone or camera, you could photograph them to work with. Anyway, sorry.
No, it's interesting. No, it's good to know, because I've never used it for this MPC for that, so it's good.
I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I thought, well, our friend Zane of what's his name, Zane's Token Tarot Witchery. His channel,
Tarot Token Witchery.
He has done several decks created with the Canva software. And so I thought, well, let me poke around and see what's available in there. And there's so much available in there. So, you get very tempted just scrolling through the images, and you can pop in a keyword and it will open up all those images that they have for you. Because I just did like backgrounds, I think, and there are a million different backgrounds, photographic designs and textures for card backs and things. So, and you can upload stuff too. I mean, if they don't have an image you like, you can upload it. I'm not sure how you do that, but
I just wish I was really good at art, and then I'd love to draw, but I'm not very good at art. So
well, that's why I made my second deck, the Eyes Wide Tarot, using the Pages software that comes with Mac, and that's basically a stick person deck. So this is just made of geometric shapes, together.
How many decks have you made now, Robin? Because this will be your third and fourth, will it?
This will be the fifth, I think.
Fifth? Wow,
sort of the fourth. But I mean, the first one was open face, which was like watercolor pencil and brushed with water, kind of, bled out. The second one, I wanted people that couldn't even draw or paint to be able to do it on their computer. And this is a simple, I don't even know if it's considered a design app that comes with the Mac. It's just called Pages. It's mostly for text, but it's got some geometric shapes that you can stretch and, overlay and apply color to. So I did, a 78 card simple stick person deck. That was the second one. Then the third one was my Little Norman Lenormand, which was the same program, but it was I was a little bit better at the skills at that point, and they look less like stick figures.
Yeah.
And then I did a ghosted edition of a reverse white on black of the open face, and then these two are after that. So yeah, I mean, like up to 6 decks now, but
wow, I mean, that's creative, isn't it? Wow. I love that.
But you have lots of people doing stuff. There's Paris de Bono of the fortune teller shop in what country is he from? It's like below Spain. I can't think of it. Anyway, he's on Printer Studio, and he's done, a couple dozen different decks that he's created. So, there's
a lot of creativity around, isn't there? And you think, how many more decks can people create? But there's always these ones coming out, isn't there? That it's never ending. The creativity of people, really.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, go on. What are you going to say?
I was winding down. If you want to add a concluding thought, I was just going to say we've been on here a while and all over the map because, as usual, I'm very disorganized. I think we covered most of the things that I wanted to cover today.
Yeah.
And hopefully we've expanded some minds and appreciation for kinds of decks to use and create, and how to expand our work, and how to increase our way of looking at cards or looking at systems. Go a little bit outside the box or the envelope or whatever.
Yeah, it's good. Mages only all the way.
Yeah,
definitely.
Well, they need their little share in the spotlight, I think.
I agree, definitely. And there's a lot out there now that are mages only. So, I
don't see so much in mass market.
No, not so much in mass market. You're right. It's more.
If you go on MPC, there are a ton of majors only decks on there. But unfortunately, they only show you about 6 or 8 sample cards, and a lot of them don't have walkthroughs on YouTube. Yeah. So they used to show you the whole deck. They were just little thumbnails, but they don't do that anymore. What is the early ritual? Something about resolution. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. The resolution of they want you to do, I think it's at least 300 DPI, dots per inch, for the resolution at MPC. Yeah. And they have a minimum size pixel wise that the image can be or should be. So before you create one, just do a little bit of homework first.
Yeah. And Gerald says you could host a mages only reading session. I have a couple of mages only, just saying.
Love to do that. Let's do it.
Well, thanks to everybody in chat as well for joining us today, and for exploring Robin's new wonderful deck, which is going to be available very soon from MPC. So that's very exciting.
And also, everybody, thank you so much, Ben, for all your help and
you're welcome.
Your presence here today. And he's been graduated to co-host. So apparently we're going to be doing more of these from the what was it called? The Toadstool.
Team Toadstool.
Team Toadstool.
That's it.
more gag reflex. I guess we're kind of stuck with that unless I change it. But okay, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll gag a frog one time. No animals were harmed in the making of this video.
Absolutely.
Okay, I guess it's time to go. And let's see if I do it right this time.
Don't leave me hanging.
End the broadcast before I leave the studio. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye, guys.